Yo, what's going on, Dragon Ballers? Today is mail day. Basically, I had an issue getting my set 10 product, so I had to go and order all the singles. So today's video, I'm basically going to be opening that stuff up, show you guys what I got. This is basically my must-have list for set 10. Basically, everything I got in today's video are all the singles that I felt like I needed from set 10. So we're going to start cracking this stuff open. All right, we're back with a trusty butter knife. Going to cut this open. Make sure if you do this at home, don't cut your cards. So, all right, we got this first packaging. Was not in love with how that was packaged, by the way. So, definitely not in love with that. But anyways, let's see what we got here. We have 4 copies of Final Hope Slash. I don't really think this is like the best card right now. Honestly, it's probably the weakest of the, free counterattacks that work with Unisons, but it's a good card to have. I mean, bouncing back at 15k, ignoring barrier, definitely will have its formats where it could be relevant. So that's not too bad. Then I got 4 of the Goku Black Rose Lofty Aspirations. I actually just did a deck profile with Marcus for his second place in Masu list, where he said this card was pretty much an MVP. So that's definitely pretty good. 4 of the Gotenks Unisons. Definitely want to have this for Vegeta. I'm definitely looking forward to playing Vegeta. It seems like Vegeta is like the only playable leader with this Unison right now. I mean, it is a really good Unison, but tapping 4 for Unisons definitely seems like it could be a little bit rough. So definitely want the place out of that. And again, this is like a video where I basically ordered all the singles that I need / know I'm gonna play out of set 10. Like, I didn't get a playset of everything from the set, and everything I did get was foily, so I had to sacrifice on certain things. But we have 4 of the Goku Hope of Victory with 4 of the Vegeta. So these are basically your free energies from the Trunks deck. I am looking forward to playing the Trunks deck. I think it's pretty fun, so I'm glad to have picked up 4 of those. And 1 Vegeta Savior of the Future. Somewhere in this mess, somewhere in these endless amounts of packages, there should be a few more of these foil Vegetas. So hopefully that's in there. I do also have my blue Dex Protection sleeves to sleeve this all up afterwards. So I'll be putting it away in my collection. So if you guys need anything like sleeves, deck boxes, binders, any of that good stuff, make sure to go check out Dex Protection down in the description. All right, so next up we have 2 Golden Frieza Unison of Malice. Actually, should be a playset. Yeah, so there's 2 right there. So this is like actually the one card I ended up not getting on TCG Player because I felt like the prices were a little high. So I ended up getting a better deal off of someone on the Majin Buu Candy Shop that ended up working out pretty well. So next package we have here. Wow, they really tape these things up like Fort Knox over here. So let's see. Okay, here is a non-set 10 card that I actually really wanted. This card is incredible. We have the Cocoonsa Negate from Draft Box 5. So this card, for some reason, is still only like in the $20-$30 range, and definitely a fair price as far as like Draft Box cards go. This is definitely the kind of card you want. I like the fact that it's 2 energy, stop an attack, kill something else. So it either stops 2 attacks basically by negating 1, killing another threat, or it deals with the threat that's attacking if you really need to get it off the field. Those are both gonna be very relevant situations. Again, I think the price on this card, considering it's a draft box card, is definitely warranted, definitely worth picking up. And next up, another non-set 10 card. Well, I guess I got all my Dragon Ball mail on one day. We have 1 Super 17 Power Distill. This card did actually get bought out recently, which is a little bit unfortunate, but it's a card that you definitely want to have if you're playing green. Hopefully this is getting reprinted soon. Anniversary box coming out in a few weeks. That definitely reprinted a lot of cards that needed to be reprinted, so that is pretty good. But I did get 1 copy of that. I think I own 2 or 3 of these Super 17s already, so having my 3rd or 4th one is pretty nice. Wow, man, these things are not packaged very, very well. But anyways, moving on to the next one, we have a very difficult to open package. All right, so we have 3 of the red Vegeta Unison. I think it is a good card. I mean, it's definitely a red Unison you want to play if you're trying to be more aggressive. So I definitely wanted to have the playset of it. But we do also have 1 SPR Vegeta Unison of Might. There should be 3 more of these somewhere in this mess. Hopefully we find those as we're going through. So let me fix the focus on this a little bit. And then 1 Mercenary Tao Unequaled Assassin. So this card basically goes in Red Earthlings. Red Earthlings is pretty much becoming an archetype of its own. So having that to basically play for free when you have, I think, 3 or more battle cards on the field, that's pretty good. All right, next up, we have 1 foil copy of the Yamcha Leader. I mean, the foils in this set are a lot different. This is actually my first time ever holding set 10 cards, and that's with you guys. That's pretty cool. But my first time holding set 10 cards. The foiling is very interesting. Like, obviously, rares aren't guaranteed foil anymore, but these foilings are pretty nice. So we have one more Vegeta Unison with the SPR. I ended up getting all the SPRs that I wanted out of the set because, you know, I got the singles. Why not? And actually, this is the first time in a set I ever got the singles. And I actually like it. I like the fact that I pretty much got everything I wanted. Didn't have to worry about, you know, pulling cards. Like, opening packs is always super fun, but, you know, getting what you wanted, especially, you know, all the SPRs, like 2 Gotenks SCRs, like getting that, not having to worry about the case having it, right? And the one unfortunate thing is I kind of spent more than I would have on a case, but not by too much. And like I said, I ended up getting everything I wanted. So I think technically it worked out pretty well. All right, next up from a new seller, we have 4 of the Toa Twisted Sister 1-drop. This is a really good card right now, actually. There's a lot of drop area stuff that you just really need to stop, like Sand Instincts, Rebrands, Kamehameha Origins, stuff like that. So having that in the arsenal is definitely solid. 4 Makikabora Broken Seal. This is another great side deck card. This really is like a coverall side deck card right now. It's actually incredible against things like Invoker, like Cell, Surge, like just cards that have specific boss monsters that come down, win the game or end the game, or put your opponent in a really favorable position. Having the Makikabora to stop that is really solid. And speaking of Cell Surge, we have 4 of the new 9-drop. And what's really cool is that, like, Eggman kind of showed this off. Like, whether you're playing a true Cell Surge deck or just using the leader to, like, you know, play some of that type of engine, like he played basically an aggro deck with it, like having that ability is nice, and you still just gotta play this card because he works really well with the leader in terms of just letting you draw and letting you self-awaken. So that works out pretty well. Oh man, these guys put tape on the actual sleeves. I not a huge fan of that, but I guess we'll ignore it for now. All right, so next up we have 4 of the Yamcha counterplays. This counterplay is definitely way better than people give it credit for. Let me start piling this up because it's starting to fall now. Yeah, this counterplay is definitely way better than people give it credit for. Like, people have issues with the fact that it doesn't really work in window 1 per se. Like, it does work, but you know, you can't hit the card that's being played, which is annoying. If your opponent is using a, you know, a special way to play a battle card, like a skill to play a battle card, and you want to use it to that, you can do it in window 2 and hit the card coming out. But besides that, I mean, this is the only free play counterplay that actually gives you a body, especially a relevant body that hits Unison. So that's pretty good. Looks like I got most of my red stuff from this package. So 2 more Vegeta Unison of Might in the SPR. Then we have 4 of the Wolfang Fists. So that's pretty nice. And then we have 4 Sin Shenron Unison of Calamity. For some reason, 1 is not sleeved. You gotta love how some TCG players sell their stuff. But anyways, you keep an eye on it, and then if you don't like how they do it, you just don't buy from that seller again. So that's how that usually works out. And then 4 Bulma Bunny Girl. This is a card that at first it seemed like wasn't going to be a red staple just because you have to rely on your opponent removing your card by skills, but there's so much removal in the format that this card is pretty much always going to be live. I love the fact too that people are playing it in skillless, because you know, you have your Ox King 30k, and then when that dies, you just literally bring it back for free and generate a free blocker. That's a pretty cool synergy. All right, another non-set 10 card. We have 4 copies of Concentrated Goku, the SSB version. SSB Goku Concentrated Destruction, maybe let me say it right. So we have this Goku here. You know, obviously I haven't played IRL cards in too long. It really does feel like it's been too long, but you know, with the state of, you know, the world and everything, it's been a little bit hard to get to locals. I actually also moved recently. I talked about that in a recent video, and you know, I haven't been able to find a locals that's really open at the moment, and going to locals right now it's not super worth it. Like, you know, I have older family members that I really just don't want to put in harm's way, so I think staying home playing online is fine for now. Making content obviously is excellent. All right, we have 4 of the Trunks counterplay, probably the best counterplay in the set. I mean, yeah, bouncing back to the opponent's hand sometimes is like a little mediocre, but when you can stop the play of quite literally anything in the game, you know, besides anything that has deflect, like that's gonna be always pretty good. This card maybe a little too OP. Like, the format really does have to be built around this card. Like, it just makes non-deflect cards really, really lackluster. So that's a little unfortunate. We have one of the Zeno SPR Unisons. Very excited to play that in my Vegeta builds. I'm also looking forward to trying out Marcus's Zamasu build, because after he, you know, got second place with it 3 different tournaments in a row and ended up like doing the deck profile on the channel, he really convinced me that that card is, or that leader rather, is just so strong. All right, we have a few things here. We have 4 of the new Bulma super combos. So obviously it's pretty good for your aggressive red earthling decks. You can pretty much play out 1-drop Babas, get a draw off of that, get a 5k power boost off of that, and then we have 1 of this free play Chi blocker. All right, next up out of the same package, we have 1 Pilaf Leader. I don't know if I'll ever even really build it or do anything with it, but it's just a copy of the leader. Like, I'll probably get every leader out of a set. It just seems kind of pointless not to, just in case you ever want the leader. I didn't actually get any of the main deck Pilaf stuff foiled out either. I didn't even order any of it, so I don't own any of it, but I guess I got the leader now. That's kind of cool. 4 Son Goku Savagery Awaken. This is going to be one of your win cons in the new Yamcha deck. That leader just pretty much pairs perfectly with this card. This guy is a deflect burn that your opponent really can't stop as long as you have the life to take for his effect. And as long as you control a Unison, you get to use Yamcha's effect to pretty much burn them for game if they're in that range. 1 more of the Vegeta Unison, and we have 4 Yamcha Desert Hyena. So this card I think is really good in pair with the Bunny Girl Bulma, basically bringing him out from the drop area, making him a lot cheaper, you know, pretty much 0 energy. And your opponent really can't negate his attacks too often because he's just going to restand. So as long as, again, the triple strike, it's going to be really hard for your opponent to stop him without multiple negates, or something like maybe like Time Magic or After Image, even though he gets plus 10k on his own, so your opponent taking 10k away from him isn't actually that bad. So next up, we have 1 more copy of the Vegeta 1-drop Double Striker. I don't want to go through ripping the tape off of that top loader right now, so we'll kind of just leave it as is. Next up, we have another top loader with tape that is not too hard to get open. We have some pretty cool stuff here, some pretty techie stuff. So we have 4 copies of Masaroshi Martial Virtuoso. The pile has officially fallen. I think it's a little bit too tall, but yeah, this card is not great right now, but it's a good side deck card in the sense that, you know, it stops your opponent from attacking with 25Ks or higher. So that definitely can have its formats where it's going to be relevant. I'm going to move this pile back here now because I think it's a little too tall. I guess we'll start a new pile here. And then 3 more of those free play Chi blockers. You just want to have those free blockers to potentially protect a Unison if you need it. So having the playset of that is pretty nice. And most of the stuff I ordered, like the foils from this set, are actually quite cheap. I was even surprised about the SCR prices, meaning like, you know, a lot of SCRs like $5 or less. Like, you know, the Zeno ones and a few of the more played ones are definitely a little more pricey. Speaking of Zeno Unison, another copy of Zeno Unison that we just got here in a top loader that I will dismantle later. Next along, we have a pretty big package here actually from Pro Play Games. Shout out to the guys at Pro Play Games. We have a very large order from them. Two sackfuls, if you will, from pretty thick stacks. So we'll go through these ones pretty quickly. We have 4 Absolute Confidence, super great side card against blue and in blue. You know, your opponent goes for game with a Gotenks Unison as Vegito, you pretty much stop it. Then we have 4 Bulma Master Scientist, the 1 Zamasu Foil Leader, 4 of the little Fused Zamasu, 4 of the bigger Fused Zamasu if I ever want to play the Tragedy Overground engine. What's actually cool is, if I keep talking about Marcus's deck, but if you go to Marcus's deck, you can actually, so he doesn't main deck this package, but if you go to his deck, you can actually pretty easily sideboard this package if it was like that type of format where it was really relevant, if you know what I mean. 4 God Slicing Kamehameha, excellent counterplay for blue, finally something that puts at the bottom of the deck, and it even draws a card on top, excellent. 4 Goku Black Future Decimator. We have 4 of the 1-drop Mai. Man, these things in full art are so beautiful, it's unbelievable. 4 of our Ox King, we were talking about it before, paired with Bunny Girl Bulma. That's going to be a very good combination. 2 of our Future Gohan super combos. I really didn't need this card, but Future Gohan is one of my favorite characters. Fun fact if you didn't know that. So I'm glad that I got it. Actually, speaking of which, I have a full playset. Then we have 4 of our Trunks full art rare. Again, not a card that's like too great right now, but he's probably very good in the Trunks deck. And you know, he does give you some pretty good value for a 2-drop, draws cards, definitely solid. Then we have 4 of our Vegeta Paralyzing Prowess, you know, one of the main boss monsters in Trunks. So definitely something you're gonna want to place it of if you're interested in Trunks like I am. We have 4 of our Supreme Kai Unison. Got to play it with Trunks once again. A lot of Trunks stuff in this pack. Then we have 4 Tragedy Overground. The 1 Trunks Leader, definitely need that. I think this is our 3rd or 4th Vegeta 1-drop Double Striker, and we still have a few more packages to go through here. Actually, two more. We have 4 of our Vegeta Negates. I think this card's excellent in Trunks. Some people don't play it, but I think it's really good. 4 of our 5-drop Vegito that you need to go into your bigger Vegito. 1 Zamasu that you need, 4 Zamasus. You need 1 of which to get your turn to awaken in the Zamasu deck. 1 Zeno Unison, and 4 Zeno super combos. Again, I'm not in love with this card. I did a video actually talking about it, where it's a card you should pick up that I don't think is great right now per se, but it's a card that can easily be very, very good in the future. You know, they banned Plan for Destruction, which was probably like the best combo with the card, but besides that, like, it's still a good card to have for the future. All right, 4 more big packs of cards here. We're gonna go through them relatively quickly. Starting off, we have 4 Goku Hit. I think this is the best blue-yellow arrival in the game. It's actually just incredible. 1 Dredge Goku. Don't really plan on playing him too much. I don't think the deck is super fun. I think it doesn't really do too much that's like too interesting, but it's definitely a good leader to have. 3 copies of the Goku, the rare that like taxes your opponent for using extra cards. Definitely a good pickup. 4 Power of Legend. I play this in a lot of decks actually. I play this in for 1, I played in WMAT Goku, which is pretty fun. Thinking about playing it in some other stuff. Paternal Unison Bardock, one of the most amazing SPRs in the set. Looks absolutely incredible. 4 of this Bardock, Broly Unison. It's okay. It's just another yellow Unison option if you need it. It's got some decent effects, tapping stuff, ignoring barrier. Not too bad. 4 of our Gogeta Unison. Bless up. This card, I think looks really, really nice. Like, especially seeing it in person. Like, the coloring on it, I think, is better than anything. Like, maybe the Gogeta drawing isn't that great because one of my friends actually who loves Gogeta is not in love with the art in this Unison SPR. But the colors actually really nice. 4 of the 5-drop Goku comes out, wipes the board. Definitely want to play that. I play in WMAT Goku, so I think it's pretty good. We have 1 Sin Shenron Leader, a deck I'm actually excited to mess around with more. I think it's actually pretty fun. Speaking of which, we have 4 of the 9-drop Revenge Blocker. We have 4 of the 4-drop that you basically want to evolve into the 9-drop blocker. Our little tower has fallen. I think it's time to go to a new one. Next up, we're opening the next pack here. Let's move that off to the side a little bit more. I got a lot of cleanup to do after this video. See what I do for you guys, give you guys this content. Just kidding. All right, we have 4 Technique Chain. I talked about this card in another video. This is a common card you should pick up because it's a 1 energy 15k attacker if your leader's yellow. That's pretty much it. It does bring out the SS4 Goku from the deck if you tap 2 more energy for it, which is definitely not a bad thing. But just the fact that it's a 1 energy 15k, definitely something you want to have for the future. We have 4 copies of Trunks, the Elite Descendant. I think this card's still very, very good in Vegex. Definitely a main playmaker in the deck. We have 4 Trunks Flash of Brilliance for your Gotenks fusion plays. We have 4 Foily 7-drop Gotenks, Vegex, sorry. 4 Vegeta the Impregnable. 4 Vegeta Display of Might. I think this card is very good in Vegex because it basically puts himself and Trunks to the warp so that you can get your fusion plays off kind of without a hitch. We have 4 Vegeta GT super combos. This is cool because in Baby you need Vegeta GTs to do some unit absorbing stuff, so it gives you some extra copies of a guy with Vegeta GT on it. 4 of our other Vegeta super combos, Busted in green, you got to play it. And then 4 Zarbon super combos. I like it a lot in the new green Frieza deck because it's searchable. You can, of course, play Android 18, but I like Zarbon. I think he works out pretty well because he's searchable. We have 4 copies of Bardock the Resolute. We have a lot of green stuff. We have 4 Birder. I am actually very, very interested in Ginyu. I think it actually is a very good archetype, so I did foil that out. 4 Demigod Unison of Sorcery. Definitely a great Unison. Maybe a little bit. I think the hype is around it now, but back in the beginning, it was definitely not super hyped. 4 Dodoria counterplays. 4 of our Frieza Xenos. You can go into that pretty easily with the new Dragon Ball card that came out. The Ginyu Leader. We have Ginyu the Body Snatcher. We have 4 of the littler Ginyus that goes into that guy. 1 Gotenks Leader. Man, I kind of wish this leader, I don't know, I think he's actually really good. I won't fall into hype of everyone saying he's like tier 2, tier 3. I think he's actually really good. I'm gonna play around with him more. 2 more Gotenks. We have 4 Foily Guldos. We have 4 Foily Haze Shenrons. We are almost done opening cards here. I hope this has been fun for you guys. It's been for me. I've been waiting for so long to get my set 10 cards. We have 4 Intensive Training Goku. 4 Jace. Definitely, again, want to have the Ginyu package fold out. This Krillin, who I don't think is like too incredible, but he searches Unisons. He can be a blocker. That can get your Dredge Goku Leader awakened. Definitely not a bad thing. 1 Majin Buu Wickedness Incarnate. 4 of this Mira to throw into Toa and potentially, you know, do some broken things in the future because it is a free play battle card. Definitely want to avoid making free plays in the future. And speaking of free plays, 1-star ball Parasinic Darkness. We have 4 Raccoon, 4 Secret Identity Mass Saiyans, 4 Sun Gohan potential unlocked, and we are down to our last package. This one's from Core TCG. Shout out to them. Also, shout out to Madtown Gaming for hooking me up with some stuff as well. One of the packages I opened was from them as well. If I could ever get this open, that would definitely not be a bad thing. Alrighty, we're almost there. We're almost there, guys. We're almost done. All right, we have a few more green cards. We've got, move this back a little bit, move this over rather. We have 4 copies of Bulma Life on Namek. This is actually a really good Unison searcher because there are a lot of good Saiyans that are 3 or less. We have 4 of our Dodoria 1-drop double strikers. An expensive card. This is one of the cards that made the order relatively expensive. 4 Dormant Potential Unleashed. 4 Frieza Counterplay SPRs. Gotta have the SPR. This card's absolutely beautiful. 4 more Hei Shenron, just the bigger version of it. We have 4 of our 1-star Dragon Balls, 4 of our 2-star Dragon Balls, and 4 Trunks Flash of Brilliance. So guys, that's everything I got from set 10. That is literally my entire set 10 order and then some. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. These are the cards that I definitely recommend you guys pick up, if any. If you haven't got set 10 products, if you're wondering about what decks to go into, what cards to buy, definitely check this out. If you guys need sleeves, I'm literally going to go right now and sleeve up all the unsleeved cards in my Dex Protection sleeves. Definitely check that in the comments below. Thank you guys for watching. I will see you next time.